Good morning, everybody. Today's December 21st, 2019. Today I'm in our plumbing shop, and once a month I'm on service call. I'm a plumber by trade, so especially during these cold months, a lot of times we get called out on emergency calls, people having no heat and different issues, maybe a major leak happening and we have to fix it. So on these weekends, I usually check in the morning and see if there's any calls. If there's no calls, I like to come in and do a little work at the shop. And usually that entails bringing scrap like this to the scrap yard, bring any pots that need to be returned, or do anything that needs just general upkeep of our shop. We moved into the shop about 10 years ago. I love it. It's very efficient. We have a lot of nice pipe racks, nice bins for the fittings. It's awesome. But I figured I'd just bring you along for a ride. We're gonna bring this scrap to our local salvage yard. And typically when we do that, my wife Tracy goes with me and we do a little picking in their yard. They have a section of the salvage yard that has areas where you can look for things that might interest you, like old pipe vices, anything like that. We're on the lookout for some post caps, some antique like cast iron or steel post caps for our house up north. So we're on the lookout for that. But I figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride. We're gonna load this stuff up and we'll be on the road in a couple minutes. So we're heading to the scrap yard now. It's kind of a cold morning. I wouldn't want to say it's like between 15 to 20 degrees out. But it's nice, it's clear, it's sunny. What's good about going to the scrap yard, a lot of the stuff that's hanging out there gives you ideas for projects and resources to get supplies. What's good about this area, we live in Plastow, New Hampshire. Everything that you could possibly need is within 2 to 3 miles of the area that we live in. It's a nice rural area, kind of quiet. It's nice. This is the main street here. We're driving through and we're heading to the salvage yard. I'm with my wife Tracy today. Say hi, Tracy.
Good morning, everybody.
But we figured we'd bring you along something different, break away from the FC project, which we're going to start on again tomorrow. And Tracy's actually thinking of starting on the Willys seats, restoration of that, so I'll get some video of that also. And actually, I think she's going to start on the FC seats also. She's become quite the professional at upholstery.
Maybe not professional, but I'm hoping Santa brings me a sandblaster so that I can improve my craft.
So I've been watching YouTube for quite a while, and one of the videos that I seem to follow quite a bit is Musty One. After watching the videos quite a while, I started recognizing areas that he was driving through. And come to find out, he lives about 2 miles away from me. This is kind of funny, but that's the funny thing about this YouTube community is it can be everyday people that get to make videos, little TV shows, and it really inspires you to do projects and become part of the community. Even if you're a sliver of that community, that you only have 10 subscribers like I do, or if you have 1 million, everybody's involved still. It's a nice community. From watching Musty One, I started watching Marcy Junebug, CT Mook, Jimmy DeResta, Make Everything with Chris Sepp. It's pretty awesome. I could go on a list of all the people that I watch and follow, but I think it's an awesome thing. We're getting pretty close to Haverhill Salvage, the salvage yard that we go to. I'll bring you back when we start doing a little picking. We're gonna drop off the salvage stuff that we have now, and I'll bring you back later.
Like it needs to be tightened up a little bit. And if I redid the, you know what I mean? Like that's like sturdier for her to, oh my. You know what I mean? Like the plastic's in good shape, but again, it just needs to be tightened up a little bit. And I like the gas tank. How about this one for a gas tank?
I think that might be a little small.
It's too small.
I love this stuff.
Like 7 feet, 6 feet,
Yeah, I would say about 6 feet.
6 feet. You think?
A little
I'm
over
gonna
6
send a picture of it to Pat.
Yeah. You couldn't leave the salvage yard without getting anything. So I got this nice sheet of 22 gauge, or 20 gauge actually, 20 gauge steel that I'm going to use for doing the repairs on the body of the FC. I figured this would be the time to get it. So what's good about using this lighter duty steel is it's easier to form, and the body parts on the FC are kind of tough because they curve down, and then they curve also this way. So they curve this way, and then they also curve down under here. So I'm gonna try a trick that I saw on one of the car shows, I won't say the name, that I thought was pretty cool. I guess that's the way I'm gonna show you is the way they used to do it for Ferraris before they had like English wheels or any of the equipment, the power equipment to do that. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna try to do, see how it'll work. I'll bring you back in a couple minutes. What I'm gonna do is use this old pine log and make a bowl out of the top of it. I'm gonna take a skill saw, make multiple cuts, and I'm gonna make this a concave surface. And what that's gonna do is make it so I'm gonna put a sandbag in the middle of that, a very thin sandbag. And what I'm gonna do is be able to hit against that surface and give shape to the metal. So I'm gonna try with let's say a 1 foot by 1 foot piece of metal that I just showed you in the garage. And I'm gonna experiment with it. I have never done this before. So it's just an experiment to see if it works. I saw it on a show and it seemed to work pretty well. They redid a $2 million Ferrari by doing this method. The owner of that car wanted to be as authentic as possible, even as how it was made. So they had like a wood buck, and they shaped all the pieces of metal by just having a old stump and concaving it out and hitting against that surface. I thought that was pretty cool. I'll bring you back to show you how I did. So that worked out pretty well. I think that way was definitely better, a better approach to doing that. So now I have that little concave surface. Plus I have these other areas that I can kind of work the metal to. So we'll see how that works. Okay, let's give this a shot. Where I'm gonna start is finding where the body line ends, which is right here. So that body line has to continue right around the corner here and meet up with the fender well. And as you can see, most of that and all of that is missing right there. So what I have to do is get a reference mark. It looks like the bottom of the body lines up with that frame. So what I'm gonna do is take this board, put it up underneath the frame, that body line, and I'm gonna connect it to this jack. And I'm also gonna measure down and put a reference mark or a benchmark off of that body right here. Come down, clamp it to the body, and that's gonna give me a good reference mark that I can go by to find out where the body ends. That worked out good. I have it hitting the frame there, and it hits the bottom of the body there, and it hits my benchmark over here. Now I just have to fill in all that empty space with metal. So let's give it a shot. So I'm going to use this Tailor's tape. It's a flexible tape that makes it easy to follow the contours of the body. And I want to get a start measurement. I'm going to go a little bit bigger because I can always cut it down, but I just want to get a rough measurement of where it can be. So I'm going to start actually at the 1 inch. I'll measure across, and it measures off of there 11 inches, subtracting the 1 inch. So it ends up being 10 inches. So I'm gonna go a little bit bigger. I'll probably go 11 inches for the full measurement, and I'll trim it down from there. And then height-wise, I wanna get rid of this stuff here. So I'm gonna cut across here and remove this body here. So I wanna get at least, I'm gonna go kind of long here, about 8 inches. All right, so let's give this a shot. So what I gotta try to do is, this has to bend this way, and it has to curve the other way too. So what I'm gonna start with is, I'm gonna just start by trying to put a curve in it. This metal's kind of easy to bend. So I think I'm gonna start just trying to get the overall bend and trying it on here. So that's roughly the bend, that curve. So now, using the round part of this ball peen, I'm start trying to roll it. Now keep in mind, I've never done this before. I'm just giving it a shot. I was gonna put a bean bag in here, but I tried actually the bean bag, just tried it on a small piece of metal, and it doesn't really work that well. This wood is so soft that it actually works just as well without it. So as you can see, it's starting to get the bend. I'll smooth out all those little pits after, but I think it's starting to look pretty good. kind of built out there, but it's starting to look like it. All right, so that worked out pretty well. I kept hitting it and forming it. I thought I would only have to hit it like around here to get it to shape, but come to find out, you definitely have to hit it the whole span because it's such a gradual taper and then a pretty aggressive taper at the bottom that you have to form the whole piece of metal. But it worked out pretty well. I still have a little more fine tuning to do, but I want to get it in place and just see where I have to form it more. I can see the corners I have to flare out a little bit more. What's pretty cool is a friend of mine, Tobias, told me about these little removable rivets. I think they were called Clecos, and they actually work awesome because you can work from one side, get it secure, and kind of continue to form it around the body here and just continually put them everywhere that you secure it. It works pretty cool because all you have to do is drill an 1/8-inch hole. Drill it through both pieces of metal and then use this tool that suppresses a anchor on the inside of it. So to insert it, you completely compress it, put it into the hole. The hole has to be kind of tight because there isn't a lot of area that it holds. So when it separates and holds in the hole, there isn't a lot of span that it opens up. So you have to make sure the hole is pretty tight. But you put it in and then you release the tool and it actually pulls it right into place. It's pretty awesome. But that's a good dry fit. Now what I'm gonna do is make a mark here and get this metal all cleaned up to bare metal, and I'll get it prepped for welding. I'll weld it across here and then down the sides. I like the fit of that. I mean, it has a little divots in it from the hammering. I have huge respect for the guys that can make that perfectly smooth. I can't believe how much work that must be. But I'm pretty happy with the shape of it. It follows both of the contours. This side is actually buckled in a little bit. And when this actually comes out, it's gonna meet it pretty even right here. But I have to pull this side back out a little bit. So what I'm gonna do after I get this secured is cut across here, redo this piece, and also redo this side over here. But this is a good benchmark to start from. And I actually couldn't wait to try this because I knew it was going to be the hottest piece to do. But it actually isn't too bad. So what I'm going to do now is leave this the way it is for right now. I know it's going to work. I know the wooden block that I'm using is going to work. I think that process is going to be as good as I'm going to get it. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to take it off and smooth out some of these dimples too, as much as I can, flare out these sides. But I'm going to get this prepped. The other side is the same exact way as this is. So I'm going to get that prepped on that other side and get these Clecos put in, probably the same span. Actually, thanks Tobias for letting me use these because these were awesome. These are makes it so much easier. So now I'm gonna jump on the other side, and that's pretty much what I'll do today. Is get both sides ready for welding. I'm gonna actually, I think, get all these ready for welding and just weld them all at the same time. All right, well, I get that side mostly done. I ran out of the Clecos to finish holding them there, hold that piece there, but what I'm gonna do is weld up the other side and then come back and continue on this side just to complete both those. But I'm gonna wrap it up for today. We're still doing some Christmas stuff on Sundays, and I'm just at this time just trying to get a little done, as much as I can get done on the weekends. After the first of the year, I'm gonna actually be able to do a lot more on this. My weekends will be a little more freed up. But this will be the last video I do before Christmas. I hope everybody has a great Christmas and a happy holiday. and I'll see you on the next project. That'll be probably next Sunday. So everybody have a great week and have a good one. Bye.